Uh, Thank you so much for being here. We've been hosting this meeting for the last 7 years. We're going to 8 every month consistently. MHSTARS are be coming through to have a conversation about mental health. Today we have a great guest. Go ahead, Reverend Bomboy, with the disclaimer, please. Thank you so much. If not, can you go ahead, Kevin? All right. So, Kevin, can you hear me? All right. So, I can just do it my way. Anything we discuss here is not our responsibility and is all for teaching purposes. And it's a blessing to have our brother today, tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and request. Kevin, can you unmute, please? You are muted. Can you give a disclaimer, please, sir?
Sure.
You're
Can
good
you hear
now.
me now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
All right, good. Sorry, we're going through the storm, so it
All
might be
right.
a hit and miss every so often. But super excited to be here. I'll make a disclaimer real quick. Only thing I'll ask as you're coming in and join, if you can mute yourself, so when the speaker comes, it's going to be just a nice and smooth, and we'll take questions towards the end. Awesome, great to be here. All right, so the MH Stars disclaimer: we're an association incorporated in the state of Georgia, does not seek to be conflict of any medical, psychological practices or any church, any religion or spiritual practice, any religious doctrine, beliefs, or practices. The information provided here is for education purposes only. It is intended for your general knowledge. The information provided here should not be substituted for medical advice or treatment from specific medical condition or disorders. If you or someone you know have a problem, seek prompt medical care for any specific mental health or psychological issues. Treatment modalities around your specific health issues are consented between you and your physician or provider. The organization is not responsible for any disease or their healing. Our speakers and presenters and moderators have volunteered to share important information to help create awareness for mental health issues in the diaspora communities and at large. The platform is inclusive and open to all. MHSTARS does not charge fees this year. Speakers have not been promised any honorarium. Back to you, come now. Thank you much.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, everybody. We're gonna have a conversation, and after he's done, we're gonna have a question and answer session. So if you have any question at that point, I'm gonna get us out of YouTube so you can have any question you wanna ask my brother, Professor. Professor, I've known him for many years. He's a professor down in Florida, man, a writer. He has connections. Professor Peter Ndingi, we've done a lot of things together. Our Voice is an organization that we work together that brings a lot of community in America, here and in Kenya, just to have conversation and help us to be better in investment and what we do. And as a leader, as an author, as someone who knows about the struggle of man, what we go through, welcome. It's your part to start this conversation, sir. Thank you, Professor. And you can add anything else I didn't say. Thank you, sir.
My God, this is an honor. Come now, hamjambo watu wangu. Thank you so much. This is very, very special. And to you, all members of MH Stars program, and particularly Reverend Waboy, who invited me here, and come now, and of course, everybody else, including Kevin and all the well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a very special honor. And like Amna said, we do a lot for the community. And actually, I like to say we just do what the Lord guides us to do. It's important to understand that we try everything, we do whatever talents we have or whatever God has given us to let the people know. As Kamna mentioned, I am a professor at a university called Florida Gulf Coast University. It is located in Southwest Florida. in a little town called Fort Myers, in what we call the Gulf of Mexico. I still call it that way, in the Gulf of Mexico. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place where we are. Besides the many other things we do with Come Now, and I think some people may not know very well my day job. I am a program coordinator of a program called the Child and Youth Studies Program, which is housed in the College of Education and University. And in that program, all we do is try to empower families. We are certified by the National Council of Family Relations. And to be in the position I'm in, to be the professor in that area, I must be a certified family life educator. Certified family life educator, you deal with families, you deal with issues that pertain to families, and that's where I come in wearing that hat. And I was doing a study, and before I actually move on, Come Now, I just need to recognize somebody. There are many people here, and people I've been talking to. There's a good friend of mine in Kent, London, the UK, and I don't know what time it is. And Lydia, I see you in this program. I don't know whether you are awake, but I'm just honored that you have joined us from. Can you say hello, Lydia, please, for a minute? Lydia, did you hear me? She's in London, I know that, because, yes, Lydia, say hello,
Hello,
please.
Prof, and everybody else. Yeah, it is actually 10 past 2 a.m. in the morning in the UK. I feel privileged to be among the team, and I'm looking forward to this powerful discussion.
Thank you so
My
much.
profession is I am a psychologist, and Prof is my good friend.
It's
Thank you
just an
very
honor
much.
to have you here all the way at that ungodly hour, if I may say it, but it's just so special. We use this kind of learning on family issues and the youth to empower children with Lydia, particularly the university students, the so-called Gen Z in Kenya. We don't do the political angle, but we try to show them that, they should not lose hope. We try in the best way, and the kind of presentation I'm going to give today relates to some of the things we do. But when we are doing a study just for those kind of work with Lydia and others, we come across this aspect of men. We have always focused on the girl child a lot, and that's good. But it looks like in the process, we probably might, without intention, have probably forgotten that our boy child also needs to be left. There was never any intention, I believe, that we forget the boy child as we empower the girl. But in a way, when you look at some statistics that have come about, you find maybe the things now we need to focus on. And Lydia has been very instrumental in working with the young boys in Nyeri, in Kenya generally, and the students, and I believe that's why she's here. So Come Now, let me, if without any further ado, can I share my PowerPoint?
Let me give you a privilege to share. That's
I
okay.
think I can.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, I prepare. How much time do I have again? Come Now.
You can do. Let me see. You're supposed to have. Let me see. Look. Let me look here real quick. How many minutes? 20 minutes? How long do you
10
need?
minutes I was told. Okay, that's good. That's good. So
Yeah.
that give me about enough time. If you don't
Okay.
mind, please show me 5 when the time comes, okay? Because I get carried away sometimes and I don't want to exceed the
Yeah.
time because I want to leave a lot of time for us to discuss.
That's
Let me
fine.
also put a disclaimer that this statistics was collected not just for the Kenyan population, it was a global picture, but I put in the Kenyan aspect depending on the particular population. It's part of a bigger population target, which is usually the elected target group. But this time when I was talking to Come Now and Reverend Wamboy, we said, hey, mate, this is serious. So remember again, we're not just trying to make men look bad. All that I'm doing is give some statistics of a work I have done in my role as the program coordinator of the Child and Youth Studies program, and just highlight these are the statistics that there's something wrong with men. It can be up, the topic can be approached in different angles, but as you can see, I have looked at what we may call the main issues that I thought were important to be discussed in 15 minutes. How we got here, what is the impact of those issues in the society, what can we do about it? And these are suggestions. And again, Kevin, as a disclaimer, some of them are my suggestions, some of them based on the research and everything else. What can we do about it? And we can have others. So again, that's the way I would like us to approach this. What are the main issues? How do we get here? What is the impact of society? And how can we? And I would like to leave a lot of time at the end for our conversation on what we can do, and hope we can start implementing. And like the MHSTARS program, so this is where we can start this whole business. The 5 main issues I addressed were the welfare trends, and you see a number of issues on men's welfare. The money, show me the money, and whether you like it or not, where money plays a very important role, and I believe you have been doing that. And not just the amount, it's just also where are we getting that money from? And also education is a key factor. And lastly, not just the timeline education, the degree completion, and then the academic outcomes. So let me continue with the first one, and I look at a number of issues which I refer to as the welfare. Now, these 5 issues are the ones I thought may be important, and I'll highlight each one of them. And there can be a lot of details. I've done this study. There's a lot of details about it, about each one of them. And I do know this group has dealt a lot with suicide, and that's going on, and I hope we can start there. But I want to highlight a few facts pertaining to suicide, crime, labor, domestic violence, and alcoholism. Now, let's just start 1900, 2017, and we look at the issues of, this is suicide rates. When you look at, these are suicide rates. So you see 1900, you see rates per thousand, that's on about 10. But look at how things change when we get to the 1970s, 1980s here. And like things just jump up. After independence, particularly for us, things just stop, the burdens come in, and then we go up. Somewhere in the 90s, before we get to the 2000s, we start going down, but now more recently, whatever is going on here, we start seeing the numbers going up again. And the numbers have become too high, 20 suicide cases out of every 10, 100,000. That's a huge number for people killing themselves. But let me go on. You'll find the women on the other end. Look at the numbers. Compare those numbers. In many ways, when the numbers of men were going up, the numbers for the women will go down. And even if they start rising here like the other ones here, the numbers are very low. There's an issue here, my friends. See the gap? Where's the trouble with the men? If I go on to the other aspect now, when I go on now to this part of just a minute, please. This part of among the 15 to 24-year-olds, the numbers, you see, this is the ratio of men to women. Let me explain this. If the ratio is equal, the number is 1. If men and women are equal, X over X is 1. Now, look at the numbers here at the beginning, the last century, they start very well. Look at how the numbers increase. In other words, 6 times here, the men over the women. That is the ratio of the male suicide rate compared to women. Now, if we move on now, even to the different racial groups, this is general now, look at the numbers. Again, you see here the suicide rate between the gender, the male and the female. Look at the numbers now. Even among the white folks, among the black folk, the American Indians have the highest numbers. Those numbers are too high. And look at the red, it's always smaller in every category, much, much smaller. Among the black people, we are 4 times to commit suicide. Now, if you look at the Kenyan situation, inevitably, and there are many reports here, the number of men does not change. The statistics remain the same. I can spend a lot of time talking about the numbers in Kenya a lot more. I don't have the most recent statistics, but the numbers don't even change in any way. There are many cases associated with substance abuse and employment, and then those side relates the causes, but they're there. Now, if we move on to this now, I want you to look at this where now this is the second issue on incarceration. Look at the numbers, man. The numbers, how they are increasing in terms of which people are incarcerated. Look at the way it has grown here. This is the 21st century now. The numbers go up. So we up there, people. We have an issue here, my friends. In Kenya, incarceration, 90% of all the people incarcerated are males. You go to the cells, the prisons for men, they're all crowded, whereas women can share so many rooms, can have 2 rooms for themselves because they're not there. Young men from the informal settlements get there and get incarcerated. And boys then get more vulnerable to be recruited in those gangs. The domestic violence, I've talked about it. We have talked about this. We have beaten this one. And this one, people, please. This is serious. At least a quarter of our women have all experienced domestic violence. And most of the domestic violence, 90%, I'm not saying women don't do it, but 90% of it is by men, of the intimate partner violence. Alcoholism, I'm giving those statistics here. 5 times. 5 times. That's from the Kenyan demographic cell. Note, by the way, here, we should be careful using these figures because men actually take alcoholism as if it's just a social thing for them. Women, there's a stigma to it. So somehow the numbers of women get underreported. Now look at the incomes. I'm trying to rush a little bit because I want to spend quite a bit of time discussing this. The income changes. Let's look at these income issues here. Look at the income changes between 1973 to 2018. I'm not sure why I picked that. That's when I graduated anyway. But when you look at these numbers, the males, the change in median income, annual income for males 25 and over by educational attainment, and you see the numbers of every other group for the males declines in those years. If you have less than 9th grade, all the numbers decline, only the advanced degrees, and this is global situation. Only advanced degrees do men get better, the incomes. If you look at now the change in the median income for females on the other hand, look at the numbers, the things get better and better. Look at them. Only the 9th, 12th grade lacking diploma decline. This is a serious issue. In Kenya, the incomes of males to women agreed, the men are still getting more money. There's no doubt about it. But look at the way the numbers are going. 2014, it was 64%. 2023, it's 90%. In other words, the women have caught up almost. And I don't know the numbers for 2025, maybe it's already 100%. Where are the people getting the money? The income by the industries. And this has become an issue here, particularly in the diaspora. Look at where we are getting the money. Now, look at the services, the education, health, financial, we get these numbers. Or it's 53. We are very much into the construction industries, the transport, that's the truck driving and all that. A large number of our people are there. Now, why did I do that? Because some of those areas here are the ones that lead to this growth. You start in health as CNA, then you become RN, then you become NP, and that goes on. When you're in the transport industry on the other hand, you are there where you probably start or increase slowly, and then somehow we start getting issues when the woman starts getting more money, and then we start having family issues. Let's get to the education areas. And it's important, the education, I looked at the enrollment, and where men and women spend time when in college, and then enrollment by age and the time they use when in college there. Look at this, please. Look at this. In the case of the case of the males here now, look at this figure here. The population in general remains with the same men and women. But the enrollment, the male share of the enrollment, look at the way it is going down, of the people in the school employment at the different age categories. Of course, at 45, enrollment goes down. But you see the numbers of the enrollment of the male, the ratio gets lower and lower. If you look at the four-year completion rate here, you see 2018, you see the numbers there, the percentage of the persons who have completed four-year college or more by gender, you see the numbers, the male still being a little bit bigger, but up to the year 2000 here, the women take over and things get higher. Those people in colleges know now, you are more likely to have a female student than a male student, and that's the trend that we're having. The male share of higher education levels, I don't want to spend too much time on this one, but you'll see the numbers are also in that level that they are all below 100. That's what I'm trying to say here. And that number becomes lower and lower as we move on. The four-year degree completion for the men and women, look at this, please. It is helpful to look at. The men are in the purple in this case, and the women are in yellow. Where do the people spend their time? Look at it. The clubs hanging out there. Yes, the clubs that are powerful and helpful, women are still more. But you see, look at all those numbers there. Then look at this. Look at this. Who is playing video games more? The men. Who is just partying? The men. Who is just watching TV? The men. True, they're exercising, and that's good. But there is really little time being spent on the studies. If you look at the Kenyan situation, the same story is happening. The universities, the many universities mushroomed in Kenya, 52% of the population there is female, 47% is male. The degree completion, you see, let me use this. Those numbers keep going down. Everything is going down in that respect. Look at these numbers of the degrees. This is global picture. There's something wrong, my friends. Look at the way they're going down. Look. Even the white fox, the black fox, we're here. So anyway, let me just speak to. So these are statistics, and you can look at a lot more statistics. And I would urge you to go and do your own study on this topic. We are parents, we are boys and girls, and you see almost any statistics you get, it is against the men. Nothing looks good except for advanced degrees. Nothing increases, but the women are going up. Nothing wrong with the women going up, but there's something a lot wrong because eventually the domestic violence. So what did we get here? I just used this. These are statistics, the historical shifts in the gender roles. But that does not mean that we put down the women, the men in against men. The cultural narratives and that toxic masculinity where men don't even speak up when they're going through problems. I know you have discussed suicide a great deal. Men are still not talking. We have to let our boys talk to us. These are things we can avoid. I've been talking to Reverend Waboy. Almost any suicide case can be avoided. And we have a responsibility. And we know these numbers are there come now. And I'm so glad we have come in. We really have to step up. The women have many organizations like Quito and others. We also have to address these issues. For us, Kenyans, most of us are not like serious criminals. We are drunkards. DUIs and issues are related to that. And they lead now to domestic violence. These are issues that are hurting us. What is the impact? Mental health has become a big issue in a global picture, and even the Kenyans, and even here and at home. Social instabilities, of course, through the violent crime, political movement, the struggle we are having now in the country. Yes, it's so easy to throw the blame in everybody and then say the Gen Z are doing good. But what are the forces behind all these? It's important to address. We loved the government 2 years ago. We were happy with what we got. What has happened that these issues have become so strong and these boys are increasingly getting so frustrated through the unemployment, and then the government, instead of addressing it, we are abducting. What is wrong with us? We see even the global picture. If you look at the men who went to January 6 in USA, in the world, in Washington, it's men busy. We get those strained relationships. And of course, divorce hurts all of us. People, if we're gonna have an empowered family, we have to have time for men too. What can we do? Reframe masculinity. But it's okay to cry too. It's okay to wash dishes. It's okay to take care of your baby. Don't keep on, hey, you can't cry, you're a man. No. We have to have those mentorship programs come now. It's about time. It's easy for us to talk like this, but we are leaving those boys out there. We have to have those mental health accessibility, and I'm glad about this team here. Because that's what we do. That's what Lydia is focusing on so much with the kids who are from low income in Nyeri, in anywhere. That's why she's here today, because this is important for her. We need to also engage job training. And fatherhood is still, whether you like it or not. Remember, what tends to happen is when women go up and they get more money, and I'm still driving my truck and doing things that I leave the moment to pay for everything. Further involvement, and I start feeling low. I don't want to talk about it, so I end up in the club. I'm drinking every time. What happens? The kids, yeah. Co-parenting is an important aspect of bringing up children. Yes, if it's not working, I use my certificate to say, if it's not working, leave him or leave her. If it's not working, sometimes things don't work. But let's try to make it work for the sake of all of us and the children. Love is a good thing. Let's empower one another. So I want to stop at this point because I want to spend a little bit more time. I don't know whether my time is up come now. That's my phone number, and I'm free to talk about it. I'm free about this.
Okay.
I want to stop sharing now. Just say, people, I'm very passionate about this topic. Come now, this is not just something we present here. We got a responsibility to say these are real statistics. It's not bashing men, it's the reality. It's a global image, but there's some things we can do. Yes, suicide, those incarcerations, we can tell them now. There are things that are better to do. So I thank you so much. And I am truly honored to do this. And I think it's time for us to spend time now. Let's talk to each other, talk with each other, and share ideas. Come now,
Right.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Before I disconnect on YouTube, because I have a question for you. It's gonna be out of YouTube. I'm gonna ask Kevin as Bishop Mode here. First of all, I go to Kevin, and I'll go to Reverend Wamboi, and then is Dr. Nancy here to say something. Can you go ahead, Kevin, before I ask my question? Because I'm wanting to say something before I come out of YouTube, so we can ask. I have a very strong question for you. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, Professor Diangui. It's a really interesting just to hear, and it's humbling just to share that data. I think one key thing that stood out for me, it's men need to be a little bit better prepared, especially now coming out of school. Something that I'm seeing, hopefully it's not causing a lot of frustration and beat down, is most of the degrees are being phased out. How can we prepare our men for that, to where their first choice might end up being the second choice, and to be able to pivot with this time, technology, and the different changes in our communities and economics? Thanks.
Oh, thanks so much, Kevin. Can I address that one? Just straight
Yeah,
away?
you can address it. Yeah,
Very
before.
good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Kevin. I think it's very important for us to realize that new knowledge is being increased every day with the technology, with the AI, with everything. And there are so many new areas we didn't know before that are sources of better income. Let me just give an example. My nephew, who was here in the university, did software engineering. I have 5 degrees. I'm not bragging. It's a fact, and that's what it is. He's got the first degree. I'm a teacher. I'm a university professor. His first salary is bigger than mine. And we must now start orienting ourselves to the fact that they are better. I thought, wait a minute. This is mine. What's going on here? But we must now realize the world is changing and changing dynamically. The good thing about our Kenyan population, particularly, we're very creative. I'm telling you. And we are very dynamic. I will talk about my nephew who was going through issues. I don't know whether many of you have read about him. I look at that boy and his business that he had, digital work, and he has employed about 6, 7 people. Little Diang, that's we call him Diang. His name is Diang Wikenyagia. Now that's missing out now. Oh my God, they don't even go. He has a little office, but they all operate from away from. Those things are happening, Kevin, and we must reorient ourselves. The other thing about parents is teaching and medicine and all that. This is what we knew. There's a whole new world out there. Let our children discover. They are much better in discovering new areas and let them do what is possible. You see, Kevin, one other thing is we push them to the areas that we think are best for them. We think they want to go to music, they want to play the guitar, whatever they want to do, let them do it. When you push them there, they're not happy with what they're doing. What do they end up doing? Any money they get, they start into drugs. I'm not happy. They start looking for happiness elsewhere. Kevin, thank you for that question. And we must allow and we must let our children, like when we have conversations, Lydia and the university students in Kenya, this is the kind of conversation. Let them talk. Let them tell you how they're going to make money. And they do talk. And we actually learn more from them. Thank you so much, Kevin. It's beautiful.
Perfect. Okay. Before I ask go out on YouTube, I'm gonna give it to Bishop Modef is not here. Reverend Wamboy, you have something before I disconnect YouTube? Reverend Wamboy. Okay. Dr. Nancy in the house. All right. Go ahead, Reverend Wamboy, before I disconnect YouTube. But don't leave because I have a powerful question.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
going. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna disconnect
Come in.
YouTube. Go ahead, Reverend Wamboy. You're on. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Go ahead, Rev. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect anyway. Go ahead.
Oh, by the way, before you do that,
I do.
I can hear you. Try.
Oh, if you can hear me.
Yes.
I
yeah, you know very well. Yes.
I did not get to listen to the presentation, so I'm the one who is going to be your audience on YouTube. Although I prepared, due to weather, I have had to restart this computer several times. My goodness. And I just want to say thank you, first of all, to Dr. Peter Diangui. Thank you for diligently working, because I saw a few slides and I was actually looking real closely, like, oh, this is so good. And thank you, Come Now and Mental Health Stars and our audience tonight. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you, but I'm so grateful that we have great young men here. They're young to me. They're almost like my sons, to be honest. Mr. Kevin Gogi and Reverend Anthony, Come Now. I appreciate you. We are having a visit of the past Deputy or Vice President of Kenya. He's in